What's up guys, my name is JennyCook5 and welcome to another review. This time we are looking at the Tottenham versus Chelsea game where Chelsea came out on top in a 4-3 victory. Some things never change, shall we say. Before we get into this video, please like, please subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification button, and always remember, London is blue. So here we have it, Tottenham 3, Chelsea 4. This game never disappoints in terms of goals. Anything that happens in the game, in fairness, it's just unbelievable. This game always seems to have an utter just madness surrounding it itself. I was quite confident coming into the game, but seeing Tottenham's lineup, having Mickey van der Ven and Romero back as a partnership was really frightening in fairness. And it kind of, as Paul Merson mentioned, I think going into the game, Chelsea would have been very confident, but seeing that lineup was very clear to see that we had a game on our hands. And that was clear in the 5th minute with Dominic Solanke open up the scoring against his former side. It was really unlucky for Marc Cucurella to make the mistake that he did make originally, and unfortunately it was just one of those where it was a bit poor mistake, but I feel like Levi Colwill could have done better and had got across his man, but it wasn't to be, and Dom Solanke opened up the scoring in 5 minutes. It didn't take too much longer for them to get their second either. 6 minutes later, Dejan Kulusevski managed to get on the score sheet, and again a mistake from Cucurella on that left-hand side where he slipped, lost the play, but again I just felt like the defence could have done more, and as much as the hate's going to be pounced onto Cucurella, I just do believe that in fairness that a lot of the defenders could have done so much better in that situation. Once again, they just didn't really seem to do so. Too easy for him to cut inside and go across the box for him to put it into the bottom corner. Felt like Robert Sanchez could have done slightly better in that moment, but at the same time I felt like he had a little bit of a block in front of him to be able to see the ball coming across and going into the corner itself. Being 2-0 down is never easy, and it's always been a bad factor of us of coming back into the games, but it didn't take long for Jadon Sancho to get his second goal for the Blues as Marc Cucurella played him on the left-hand side, as he was able to, very similar to his the second goal for Spurs in fairness, cut across on the right-hand side and he's pinged it bottom corner. He's hit it at pace and he's done so well, and Jadon is developing into a massive player. Anyone that doubted him, well, I know they're not saying anything anymore. After that goal, I felt like we had a lot of pressure in the first half. Pedro Neto coming close, Nicholas Jackson coming close after Dragusin come across. But Tottenham suffered a blow with Christian Romero having to come off the field to be able to leave. So it had a bit of a reshuffle in the back, which I felt hindered their progress in fairness. And we had a lot of chances to be able to level it up in the first half in fairness. And it was very much the case of going into the second half. It was clear to what Chelsea were going to do, and that's press and press and press. And that's exactly what happened in the second. Enzo Maresca changed it up with Malagusto coming on for Romeo Lavia, not having the best of games this time round as he came on for Lavia, and then Caicedo moved on to his favoured position in the midfield, and the pressure kept coming from there. In fairness, a lot of pushing and a lot of pressing, did what we needed to do, and luckily that resulted in a poor mistake from Basuma taking out Moises Caicedo, and what a penalty that was. Into the bottom corner it went, and it levelled it up at 2-2, and you're kind of there thinking, do you know what, are we going to push on, are we going to settle for the draw? Tottenham came at us a little bit, they was kind of absorbing the pressure a little bit more, and at the same time they were trying to get on the front foot and really create something for themselves. But it didn't take long for Cole Palmer to magic up some brilliance on that right hand side, cut across, find his man Enzo Fernandez, and what a finish it seemed to be on the volley into the bottom corner. This man just keeps giving, it's just unbelievable. I don't know what's got into him, but the assist, the goals, everything about Enzo Fernandez at the moment just screams quality, and it's exactly kind of meeting up to that 100 million price tag, that is for sure. So being 3-2 up, it's never secure, it's never easy, but once again we win a penalty thanks to Sarr pushing over Cole Palmer. It's a dead cert penalty, and to be honest it seemed to be that that Palmer was on our side in that moment in time, and he got himself a goal, and what a way to do so in fashion. The Panenka was special, it has to be said. With +7 on the clock, you really thought that Spurs could got themselves back into it, and it took them to the 96th to be able to get into it, of Heung-min Son getting a goal from the corner, poor defending from the Chelsea defenders in fairness. But it didn't take too long for the referee to blow his whistle, and I thought he had a good game today, to be honest, Anthony Taylor, it has to be said. A few dodgy decisions in the first half, I thought, where Caicedo could have easily been sent off. I'm not complaining whatsoever, but from a football perspective, I think you could easily say that could have easily been a red. And same for Dejan Kulusevski getting his elbow out. There's no way that your arm is in that normal normal position in itself. But yeah, really, really happy with the performance overall, and just happy that we was able to turn it around. I think we've only had it in three in 22 games or something silly, that we was able to come back from from an actual loss itself in the first half. So really, really happy with that. In terms of the goals, it was Enzo Fernandez, Jadon Sancho, and Cole Palmer with 2, but Marc Cucurella was able to get on the assist on one of the moments, and Cole Palmer with the next. But I don't think they actually counted that as his assist, as it kind of ricocheted another player. But overall, a massive win at 3-point lane, shall we say. And I really do believe this kind of spans onto something a bit more. Obviously, Arsenal have dropped points, City have dropped points, Brighton have dropped points. This could really stem something special for us. But I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep managing it the way we are. We've got a big enough squad for it. The only mention that I saw is Pedro Neto is suspended for the next game, but we've easily got the cover for that. And at the same time, I just feel like we're in a great position as a club at the moment. I think Enzo Maresca has really found his feet at the club, and I really believe that something special is happening at Chelsea at this moment in time, and long may it continue, that is for sure. Looking at the lineups and the player ratings for this particular game against Tottenham Hotspur, Robert Sanchez in goal, 5.0. Just really poor distribution once again, and I thought he was just really, really poor. I think the one moment that kind of could have upped that rating potentially was a save in the second half near to the end where Heung-min Son came in and he made a very, very good save. But at the same time, I just didn't think he was good enough, and I do believe that he's going to be a real Achilles heel for something that could prove to be bad for us in the sense of he just makes too many mistakes. I'm not too sure. Dived out of the way for the first goal, and I feel like he'd done so much better in that moment. And then again, the second goal, it just seemed a bit soft. I'm not too sure. And everything about his game just doesn't really kind of solidify anything. And I feel like the performances that Jorgensen's been putting in as of late, worthy's a start, but that's for Enzo Maresca to decide on that moment in time. Moving to the left-hand side, Marc Cucurella, 6.5. Yes, he made 2 mistakes, but he did kind of make up for an assist. And I thought in the second half, he was much better, in fairness. He was left a little bit perplexed with the issues with his boots, don't get me wrong, but at the same time I felt like he made up for the mistakes that was made, and he's had a great season so far, so I can't really slate him too much, and it was just a bad day at the office in some regard for Marc Cucurella. Moving on to the right hand side, Moises Caicedo originally started on the right, then shifted himself over to the middle. Thought he was pretty good today. I didn't feel like it was at his best, but at the same time I felt like he was good. Didn't look entirely comfortable due to the press that Spurs were giving, and was lucky not to see a red, so I feel like that's probably why we got down on the rating in some ways. But at the same time, I thought he was really good. He won the penalty. I feel like he looked a bit more comfortable in that second half, so that's why I've given him a 7.0, and feel like that's fair to do so, but could have easily been lower if he were to be sent off. Moving to the centre-back options, we had Benoit Badiashile and Levi Colwill partner. Colwill was fairly poor today. I'll give him a 6.5. Failed to really keep Solanke quiet for the opener, and didn't really recover too much there. He left a lot of space for the Spurs attackers to really float into the box, and really didn't do the best. I felt like he kept it tighter in the second half, but still not the best of performances that I've seen for Levi Colwill. Benoit Badiashile felt like he got lucky in the second half not to concede a penalty, and was lucky that Son kind of stayed on his feet near to the end. Didn't really do a lot to be able to paint himself in glory, but at the same time didn't really make too many mistakes. I'll give him a 6.3. I've seen better performances, but I've seen worse at the same time, but that does need to be made better if he wants to get a starting spot within the side. Moving forward to the midfield, we had Romeo Lavia and Enzo Fernandez partner. Lavia left I think he lost the ball about 3 times in the space of 2 minutes at one point in time, between the first and second goals, which was really poor, and he just didn't really seem to be able to close down Kulusevski as much, and he as he was booked near to the end of the break, I felt like it was a wise decision to make for Enzo Maresca to change it around and make the change. But who else but Enzo Fernandez to be speaking about in a high way? He's been an unbelievable performer, as I mentioned, and he continued that there, striving forward, pulling the strings in midfield, doing what he would need to do, got the goal and a big statement performance, got booked for the celebration, but who really cares, to be honest, because he got the goal that put us in front for the first time in that particular fixture. And I think all Chelsea fans can definitely say that he's living up to that £100 million price tag, because he is putting in performance week in, week out. If it's assists, it's all goals. It's unbelievable from Enzo, and long may it continue. Moving out to the left-hand side, Jadon Sancho, a great goal in the first half, and it was a stunning goal in fairness, cutting in on the left flank, cruising past Pedro Porro, who's been in great form as of late, but he's not been able to continue that in this particular game. And it's a great goal from 20-odd yards, and he's now back-to-back goals in the Premier League, which is really nice to say. Played a winning role within the penalty as well, and I definitely feel like he's putting his bad Man United days behind him, with resulting in great performances just like this against Tottenham Hotspur. So an 8.0 for Jadon, 6.8 for Pedro Neto. Really, really good stuff, it has to be said. Showed great glimpses, just couldn't really finish it off in moments, and a great chance in the first half against Fraser Forster, was just slightly unlucky, and he is booked, meaning that he's racked up 5 yellow cards, so he will be suspended for the next Premier League game against Brentford. Cole Palmer, 10.0, minor man of the match. Just no doubt about it whatsoever, never in doubt. A sloppy first half display, I felt, but because he misplaced a few passes. But in the second half, he looked a different player, in fairness, and was unlucky at one moment in the first half, I would say. But yeah, the second half, once he stepped up to that sport, it was different gravy. Putting it into the keeper's right, so our left when we're watching it from the television, and then looking at it from that Panenka. I mean, you've really got to have some bottle to be in that sort of position and do what he did. Unbelievable stuff, it has to be said. Really happy of how he's developing as a player so far, and he's breaking records left, right, and centre. 37 goals and assists to be involved in now, and the last Chelsea player to do that was Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank in 2001, and he has now got the Premier League record for the most penalties scored in consecutive games. 12 penalties, 12 goals. The boy just doesn't stop, and it's just unbelievable. We're all living in a Palmer land at the moment, and we'll just let it continue, because this signing has got to be one of the best signings Chelsea have ever made, in fairness. It's just an absolute bargain for what we paid for him, and it's just unbelievable to see what this boy is turning into. Nicholas Jackson, a 6.2 rating today. Couldn't really get firing, and as you can see, when he came off in the second half, he looked very frustrated, which I'm happy to see, because there's got a little bit of fight in him, it has to be said. As much as he scored a hat-trick there last year, he wasn't really going to be able to replicate that. Saw a lot of the ball in the first half and squandered a few opportunities, but didn't really seem to create much in the second half, hence by the substitution. So unlucky, a 6.2 rating, but he'll definitely be there again, and that is for sure. Substitutions we made. Malo Gusto came on in the second half for Lavia, and I feel like it allowed Caicedo a lot of room on that middle. Had a lot of room to be able to kind of mark Heung-min Son at the same time, be able to get forward at will. Had a chance in the second half where I felt he was unlucky at the same time, but only a 6.0 rating for Malo. Christopher Nkunku came on as well in the 76th minute. Didn't really get much time to really do anything, so I can't really comment. And same for Madueke, Vega and João Felix. Tottenham will be hard done by that, and I didn't mention also that Romeo and Mickey van der Ven are injured. So two players that have just come back are injured, and it's not looking good for Postecoglou, in fairness. It really isn't. Chelsea now move up to second. We're a couple of points clear of Arsenal, City and the teams around us, and at the same time Tottenham are dropping off the pace, and Postecoglou's got a real job on his hand if he wants to turn this around, because they're currently placed 11th, so in the bottom half of the table, and it's not looking good for Tottenham Hotspur, in fairness, because they've had some poor games, 2 losses on the bounce now, so they're going to be looking to be able to bounce back in their next game in the Premier League. I'm not too sure what that is, but it is looking good for Chelsea, that is for sure. Tough game on Sunday against Brentford, which is never going to be easy, I feel. It's just the case of being able to try and replicate what we've now proved today, and just seeing if it continues. We haven't won against Brentford since they've been promoted at home, I'm pretty sure, so it's going to be tough for us nevertheless. So I'm hoping that will be a bit of a change for ourselves. We've got a Conference League game on Thursday, but they'll play a completely separate team to what we've seen today, and rest many, many players ready for that game on Sunday at 7 p.m. But until then, that will be it. I'll be doing a couple of previews. So we've got the Conference League game on a Thursday, so I'll be doing a preview and a review, and then we've got the game on Sunday against Brentford, where we'll have a review on the Saturday, preview on the Saturday, sorry, and a review on the Sunday. But that is it. Chelsea fans can end the weekend on a massive high with a big 3 points away from home against Tottenham Hotspur. Really loved that game. So happy for the boys, and long may it continue. But that is it for this episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe for more content. Don't forget to hit that notification button. And as I mentioned, London is blue.